In this example, we need to identify the domain and range of the given functions. The domain refers to the possible values, or in this case, the values of the inputs. So we usually write the domain and the range as sets of numbers. So you're going to see these curly braces here, and we're going to want to write 0, 1, 2, and 4 here. You usually go in order, but it's not required. The range, same thing here, but the range is going to be the outputs. So we're going to have 1, 2, and 5. And once again, these are sets of numbers, so the order really doesn't matter. And you don't want to double up on them, so if there's a 2 here, then just write it. If there's two 2s, just write 2 once. I like to write them in order from least to greatest, but I don't think it's mandatory being that they're just sets of numbers. Inputs here and outputs, so we're going to do the same thing. So the domain for number 2, and you can just put D if you want, an apostrophe, or excuse me, a colon. And range, you can put R if you wanted to. Those will always be the inputs for the domain and the outputs for the range. Later on, we're going to have a variable here, and so the X variable will be the inputs and the Y variable. Maybe I should write that on the top here. How about that? So you can actually see it. Might be a little bit better. So the X's are the inputs and the Y's are the outputs. Function notation, we'll get into that here in a little while. But anyways, domain would be 0, curly brace. We want to put commas in the middle here. We want to delineate these numbers as being separate and distinct. And then we'll do the range now. The range will be 2, 3, 4, and 5. So once again, the domain refers to the input side. The range refers to the output side. We only write down a value one time, even if it's repeated. You can or cannot go in order, it doesn't really matter. And then also understand that domain and range are either the possible values for the inputs and outputs, or in this case we're given tables and mapping diagrams, so we're just going to write those values down here.